I know that some of you have expressed interest in our Lift the Flap books. Here at our house, we have 3 of those, and I thought I would give you a peek inside the titles that we have to give you an idea of what they look like. Usborne has so many to offer, and there are so many other choices, but let's get started. Okay, so we have 2 bigger ones. One is a Lift the Flap general knowledge book, and there are a ton in this series. It is a hardcover book. We have Lift the Flap question and answers about nature, questions and answers about animals, so many different things. So if you have children with questions, we have books with answers. So this one starts out with, did you know? About living things. So for example, freshwater fish don't drink. They absorb the water through the skin. Fish that live in the salty sea drink water through their mouths. They do this so they can filter out some of the salt. Interesting. Here's some about living things. So let's take a look at the cheetah. The fastest animal on the land is the cheetah. His top speed is 70 miles per hour. The fastest creatures are black marlins. They get up to 80 miles an hour. And peregrine falcons are the fastest bird at 200 miles per hour. That's crazy. So lots of facts, things about science, about entertainment. And when did it all happen? So sort of like a timeline of life, question and answer. So that is our general knowledge, Lift the Flap. The other one that I just recently got for homeschooling this coming year is Lift the Flap periodic table. And periodic table was always something that was not easy for me. And so I wanted a fun way to teach it to my children. So this one talks like, what is the periodic table and why do we have it? How does the periodic table work? And there are so many different Lift the Flaps on this page. There's a chance that more than 118 elements exist, but they haven't been discovered yet. Well, that's kind of interesting to think about. And this is my favorite part. So this actually talks about how the elements how you might use the elements or how you might relate to the elements. So these are specific elements that fizz and bang. So it's not just 2 letters and a description. It tells you sort of what they do and how you might use them in the world. And there's Lift the Flaps on all of these different pages. Love the illustrations. It is a board book. The elements of life. I know that I'm going to learn a thing or two looking at these. Danger, radioactive element. Definitely don't want to touch those. So that is the Lift the Flap periodic table. And last but not least is one of our Look Inside books. And as you can see, this is a well-loved book. My 4-year-old loves to go through this, but it actually is meant for a little bit older children. We have several in this series of our Look Inside books, and this one talks about our world, running rivers, fascinating forests, watery world, dry world, what about us, and extraordinary earth. So to start, it shows our earth and gives information and talks about the outer layer, the inner layer, how it all works together. My 4-year-old at school is learning about the mantle and volcanoes, so he was really enjoying these. And then running rivers. So it starts all the way up here in the mountains with the rain. And then it goes down and talks about how it runs down through, and the water carves rivers of deep channels that with the water. Then you go all the way down here, and it talks about how it goes underground. So it's sort of a progression and shows them how water comes from the atmosphere and then runs down. And then over here, it talks about how then it goes back up to make more clouds. So I thought this was a really neat way to illustrate how this type of stuff happens. Fascinating forest. So let's see if I can lift this flap here. There it is. So all the things in the forest, the top layer of the canopy, things at the bottom, how they all work together, civilizations and tribes that live in the forests. This one is the watery world, and it goes through, there's lift the flaps on these even. Noah was even looking at, where is it? He was wondering where the anglerfish was, the one that lives way down deep. Did he find it down here? Where is it? Ah, right there. Yes, he found his anglerfish. So this is a really neat book. It's a look inside. It gives you an idea of everything in our world, but with flaps to lift, which kids love. And those are the 3 that I have to show you today. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about them, please comment below, and I'd be happy to answer anything that you would like to know. Thanks.